Let me ask you something personal, and you don't need to answer out loud, just reflect for yourself. When was the last time you thought about your own comfort, your own pleasure, and the health of your pelvic floor? For many women over 70, these topics get quietly tucked away, as if they don't matter anymore. But the truth is, they matter just as much now as they ever did. Our bodies change, yes, but our need for closeness, release, and confidence in our physical health doesn't fade with age. In fact, the older we get, the more important it becomes to care for these intimate parts of ourselves. I remember a woman I'll call Margaret. She was 74 when she came to see me. Margaret had raised 3 children, cared for her husband through illness, and had lived what she described as a busy, giving life. But now she felt like her own needs had been pushed aside for so long that she didn't even know where to begin reclaiming them. She told me she was embarrassed to even bring it up, but she missed the comfort of touch, even if that touch came from herself. She also had some concerns about pelvic floor discomfort, a bit of leakage when she sneezed, and she wasn't sure if it was normal or just part of aging she had to accept. That's when I introduced her to the very topic we're talking about today: women 70 plus, solo intimacy, comfort, and pelvic floor basics. My name is Dr. Nolan Easton, and for over 30 years, I've specialized in guiding people through health concerns that most are too shy to talk about. But let me tell you, the most important conversations are often ones whispered, and my job is to bring them into the open with warmth, clarity, and care. So why does this matter for you? Because whether you've ever given this area of your life much thought or not, taking even small steps toward comfort, confidence, and pelvic health can transform how you feel about yourself day to day. Solo intimacy isn't only about pleasure. It's also about circulation, hormonal balance, emotional well-being, and even better sleep. And pelvic floor health? That's the foundation that supports your bladder, your bowels, and even your sexual comfort. If those muscles weaken, the whole structure struggles, leading to issues many women simply accept in silence. But you don't have to accept them. Margaret certainly didn't. Once she began to explore gentle ways of reconnecting with her body, starting small, with simple breathing and gentle pelvic floor exercises, she noticed improvements not just physically, but emotionally. Her confidence grew. She smiled more. And one day she told me, "For the first time in decades, I feel like I'm not just living for everyone else, I'm living for me too." That's the kind of transformation I want for every woman listening today. Now, I know some of you may feel hesitant, maybe even a little skeptical. Talking about intimacy at 70 or beyond can feel taboo. But here's something I want you to hold on to. Your body is still yours. It is worthy of care, comfort, and joy. There is nothing shameful about wanting to feel good in your own skin. In fact, reconnecting with your body can be one of the most healing things you ever do for yourself. Before we go deeper, let me pause to invite you, if this message speaks to you even a little, give this video a like, and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss future conversations like this. And here's something special. Leave me a simple yes or no in the comments if you've ever wondered about comfort, solo intimacy, or pelvic floor health. I do read those responses, and they help me know what's weighing on your heart. When Margaret first started opening up about her worries, what struck me most was not the physical discomfort she described, but the way she had carried it alone for so many years. She thought that by ignoring her body's signals, she was being strong. In reality, she was simply putting her own needs last, as so many women do after a lifetime of caregiving. And that's where I often remind my patients. Tending to your body is not selfish, it's essential. One of the first areas we explored together was her pelvic floor. These are the muscles at the base of your pelvis, almost like a supportive hammock. They hold your bladder, uterus, and bowels in place. Over time, with childbirth, aging, and hormonal changes, those muscles weaken. This can lead to leaks, pressure, or even discomfort during intimacy. But the good news is, the pelvic floor is like any other muscle. It responds to attention and gentle exercise. Even women well into their 80s can strengthen these muscles and feel the difference. For Margaret, I suggested something very simple at first. Just learning to notice those muscles, sitting comfortably, taking a breath in, and gently tightening as though she were stopping the flow of urine, then releasing. Not holding her breath, not straining, just a gentle squeeze and release. She laughed the first time she told me she tried it, saying, "Doctor, I felt silly at first, but then I realized I can feel my body waking up again." That awareness was her first step toward confidence. But pelvic health isn't just about exercises. It connects deeply with intimacy. Many women past 70 think intimacy, especially solo intimacy, is behind them. Yet the truth is, regular touch and stimulation keep blood flowing to the pelvic tissues, help maintain elasticity, and even support hormone balance. It's not just about pleasure, though that's a beautiful part of it. It's also about keeping tissues healthy and preventing dryness or pain. For women like Margaret, beginning to explore gentle self-touch again was not only comforting, but healing. She began to see it as self-care, no different than moisturizing her skin or going for a walk. Some of you may be thinking, but what if it feels uncomfortable? That's an important question. Discomfort can come from dryness, from weakened muscles, or sometimes from holding too much tension. That's why I often encourage women to combine relaxation, gentle breath work, and sometimes a small amount of lubricant to make the experience soothing rather than stressful. Think of it not as a performance, but as a way of listening to your body. And here's something I want to emphasize. There is no age at which you should feel ashamed of wanting or needing comfort in this area of your life. I've had women in their late 80s share with me the relief they felt when they finally acknowledged their own needs. Your body still belongs to you, and caring for it is one of the most powerful statements of self-love you can make. Now, I want to bring this back to you, watching at home. If you've ever felt a little nervous about exploring these things, or wondered whether it's normal to still want intimacy, solo or otherwise, after 70, let me reassure you, it is absolutely normal. And beyond that, it's healthy. The circulation, the release of stress, the gentle movement of those pelvic muscles, all of these contribute to better bladder control, improved sleep, and even a lighter mood. I'll pause here to gently ask, if this resonates with you, please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe so you can keep walking this journey with me. And don't forget, leave me a yes or no in the comments if you've ever thought about how pelvic floor health might connect to your own comfort. I truly do read those responses, and your words shape the conversations I bring here. When Margaret began to practice her pelvic floor awareness daily, alongside giving herself permission to explore gentle solo intimacy again, she started to notice changes quickly. Within weeks, she told me she felt fewer leaks when she sneezed. Within months, she said she could finally relax into a night's sleep without worrying about her body betraying her. But more than that, she said she felt alive again, more in tune with herself, more confident when she looked in the mirror, and more at peace with her own company. That, to me, is the real gift of this work. When Margaret described feeling alive again, it reminded me how deeply the body and mind are connected. You see, when you begin to reconnect with yourself through something as simple as pelvic floor awareness or gentle solo intimacy, it doesn't just change your muscles or your sleep, it changes the way you carry yourself through life. I've seen women who once felt invisible begin to shine again, simply because they allowed themselves to honor this part of their being. For many women over 70, one of the biggest hurdles is not physical at all. It's emotional. There's a voice inside that whispers, "At my age, should I really be thinking about this?" That voice often comes from years of cultural conditioning where women were taught to put others first, to stay quiet about their own needs, or to believe intimacy belonged only to younger people. But here's what I remind my patients. You are still here. Your body is still yours, and your needs are still valid. There is no expiration date on comfort, closeness, or joy. I remember another patient, Ruth, who was 79 when she told me she hadn't even thought about intimacy in nearly 2 decades. She had written it off, assuming those days were gone long. But when she began to experience discomfort from dryness and pelvic weakness, she realized ignoring her body wasn't working anymore. With gentle encouragement, Ruth began exploring hydration, lubricants, and simple pelvic floor exercises. What surprised her most wasn't just the physical relief, but the way her confidence returned. She began dressing up again for herself, walking taller, smiling more. That spark inside her had never gone. It had just been waiting for her attention. This is why I emphasize that solo intimacy and pelvic health go hand in hand. They're not indulgences, they're maintenance. Just like brushing your teeth or stretching your legs, taking time to stimulate circulation and strengthen those core muscles is part of healthy aging. It improves bladder control, supports digestion, and even helps posture. And when you add in the emotional release, those moments of calm, relaxation, and pleasure, it becomes a holistic way of caring for body and spirit together. Now, some women tell me they feel guilty or even a little strange about the idea of solo intimacy. To that, I gently say, there is nothing unnatural about caring for yourself. If anything, it's one of the purest forms of listening to your body. The tension melts away, your stress levels lower, your sleep improves, and your hormones get a gentle nudge to keep working in your favor. That is health, not shame. Margaret herself struggled with this early on. She confessed she felt embarrassed, almost like she was doing something wrong. But the more she practiced self-compassion, the more she realized that these quiet moments were healing, not harmful. She came back to me one afternoon and said, "Dr. Easton, I finally understand. It's not about being selfish, it's about being whole." And I couldn't have put it better myself. I want to pause here and invite you again, because these conversations only matter if they truly reach you. If you're finding this message helpful, give the video a like and subscribe so you won't miss the next important step in your own journey. And please write a simple yes or no in the comments if you've ever wrestled with feelings of guilt or hesitation around caring for your own intimate health. I do look at those comments closely because they remind me that none of you are alone in this. The transformation in women like Ruth and Margaret isn't about chasing youth, it's about reclaiming presence. It's about walking into your 70s and beyond with dignity, with comfort, and with the assurance that your body is still a source of strength, not something to be silenced. That's the heart of why I'm sharing this today. Because when you reconnect with your body, when you honor your needs without shame, you open the door to a life that feels more vibrant, more confident, and more joyful than you might have thought possible at this stage. Margaret once told me, "I feel like I've finally come home to myself." That simple sentence has stayed with me because it captures what this journey is all about. For so many women in their 70s and beyond, reconnecting with their bodies through solo intimacy and pelvic floor care isn't about trying to be who they once were. It's about embracing who they are now, fully and without apology. When your pelvic floor feels stronger, you don't live in fear of accidents when you laugh or sneeze. When you give yourself permission for gentle self-touch, you notice that your body responds with warmth, circulation, and calm. When you allow yourself this comfort, your sleep deepens, your stress eases, and your confidence blossoms. These aren't small things. They ripple out into every part of your life, from how you carry yourself at the grocery store to how you feel when you look in the mirror each morning. I've seen women who once felt done with this part of life rediscover joy they thought was gone forever. One woman told me she started humming again while cooking. Another began attending social groups with new energy. And another found that her relationship with her partner, though intimacy had been absent for years, became more tender and open once she felt secure in herself again. And for those who are single, as Margaret was, there is something profoundly empowering in realizing that you don't need anyone else to give you permission to feel whole, comforted, and alive. So if you've been holding back, telling yourself it's too late or not for me, I want you to hear me clearly. It is never too late to begin. Every woman at every stage of life deserves the chance to feel at home in her body. Whether that means starting with a few gentle pelvic floor squeezes, using a little moisturizer or lubricant for comfort, or simply giving yourself permission to explore touch without judgment, each step you take is a gift to yourself. And I know that taking this first step can feel daunting. That's why I encourage you to think of it not as a demand, but as an invitation. An invitation to honor the body that has carried you through so much, that has worked tirelessly for decades, and that still deserves to feel cared for and respected. Solo intimacy and pelvic health are not about selfishness. They are about dignity, wellness, and joy. I want to pause here and ask you, if this message has spoken to your heart, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe so you can continue walking this path of learning and healing with me. And I would love to see a yes or no in the comments. Have you ever thought about trying to strengthen your pelvic floor or reconnect with your own comfort in this way? Your answers matter more than you may realize because they remind others in this community that they are not alone. Margaret's journey, like so many others, reminds me daily of the resilience and courage of women in this stage of life. She didn't just strengthen her muscles or improve her sleep, she reclaimed her spark. And that is what I want for you. Imagine waking up each morning feeling more secure in your body, less anxious about leaks or discomfort, and more at peace with yourself. Imagine knowing that even now, your body can still surprise you with comfort, connection, and joy. So let me leave you with this. Your age does not erase your worth, your comfort, or your right to feel good in your own skin. Whether you begin with a simple breath and a gentle squeeze, or you take a quiet moment to rediscover touch, you are giving yourself the gift of presence. And that gift is priceless. I'm Dr. Nolan Easton, and it has been an honor to share this conversation with you. Remember, your journey doesn't have to look like anyone else's. It only has to feel right for you. Until next time, take care of yourself, treat your body with kindness, and never forget that you are still deserving of comfort, confidence, and joy.